Super Tuesday's results were unsurprising. Donald Trump nearly swept all the contests on the GOP side, forcing his last remaining opponent to leave the race on Wednesday. The former president won 14 of 15 contests, only losing Vermont by roughly 5 points. His success and Nikki Haley's suspension of her campaign means we're now in what will be the longest general election season in 20 years. And based on what people tell pollsters about their disappointment that this is a rematch, for many it will feel twice as long. CBS News political correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns has more.
I said I wanted Americans to have their voices heard. I have done that.
After a year on the campaign trail, Nikki Haley said she had no regrets. But a Super Tuesday near sweep for Donald Trump convinced her it was time to leave the race.
And although I will no longer be a candidate, I will not stop using my voice for the things I believe in.
While she congratulated the former president, she declined to endorse him.
It is now up to Donald Trump to earn the votes of those in our party and beyond it who did not support him. And I hope he does that.
But that could be a challenge. Voter exit polls in North Carolina showed 79% of Haley supporters said they won't necessarily vote for Trump.
I always say if it's a Biden-Trump rematch, I have no idea who I would vote for.
Trump invited Haley's supporters to join his movement, but not before criticizing her, saying she got trounced last night.
We want to have unity, and we're going to have unity.
One sign of party unity, an endorsement today from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, who had been the highest-ranking Republican to withhold his support. President Biden also made direct overtures to Haley's supporters, saying there is a place for them in my campaign. Biden won overwhelmingly in most Super Tuesday states, but it came with a warning in Minnesota, where tens of thousands voted uncommitted in political protest to his handling of the Israel-Hamas war. Yet one of Biden's few challengers, Dean Phillips, also dropped out today and endorsed him, saying he would work to help keep a man of decency and integrity in the White House.
And Caitlin Huey-Burns joins me now from Charleston, South Carolina. Caitlin, let me ask about you outlined nicely where the weaknesses are for both Biden and Trump. I want to ask you about on Trump's front, the Haley voter. How do you think that works? I mean, did Nikki Haley leave any room open for a way that Donald Trump could do this, or is it all just very vague?
Well, it's interesting, John, because talking to voters at her events over the course of this campaign, they were really torn about what they would do if this ends up being the case, that it's a Biden-Trump rematch. A lot of people going to her events were Democrats, but a lot of them also voted for Trump twice and wanted something new. What was interesting, though, is that the Trump campaign doesn't really feel like it's necessary, at least at this point, to make these overtures to Haley specifically. It was interesting to note that Biden made more of an effort to court those Haley supporters than Trump did today. And the feeling among Trump's campaign is that they won everywhere, and that shows, in their view, success, which shows or should encourage unity. We'll see how that plays out. But when you look at where Haley did well was, suburbs. That is the story of the Republican troubles in the Trump era. And so by not endorsing Trump today, she's kind of saying, look, there are some real issues here that you have to address if Republicans want to win. That's been a theme of her whole entire campaign, this electability argument. But Republican primary voters weren't buying it.
And quickly, Caitlin, what does it mean in practice that this race is now joined, that it's now started? Is there something immediately that's been different?
Well, once Donald Trump clinches the nomination officially, which could come as early as next week, that will allow him to make his transformation of the RNC complete, and then he will have the party infrastructure behind him. And a senior campaign advisor told me that kind of mechanical shift will be really important to the campaign. But they also told me don't expect any message change from Donald Trump.
Caitlin Huey-Burns, thank you.